using TSD data, but again that didn't materialize because they have already developed back calculation tools for FWD and beam. So they have the technology. Only thing is it should be applicable to the TSD. So we haven't gone to that level so far. And other thing is we have to think about back calculations as more important for the payment designers. Right? This is for the network level tool. Network level tool is engineers, asset engineers look so reasonable reading, not very accurate, because you are putting into the various categories, and please 5 categories, good, poor, that type of categories, and manipulate that categories into decision making. But when your real design work comes, you need accurate data. So that is still arguing whether we could use this equipment for payment designs. Still not decided, but as my experiments, I am quite confident, but others are not. Others won't accurate, because when you go to the payment designs also, even you have accurate data, you have a blocks you develop, isn't it? You get a certain uniform section and identify the 85th percentile and use it. So what's the point of 100% accuracy? So if you are giving a reasonable outcome and a very quick, very cost-effective method, it's fantastic. Actually, I'll tell you one example. Immediately after this survey, and we had the floods. Then immediately after floods, we want to back calculate the situation. So we send FWD data. Then we want to compare with the previous. So we use TSD data for that particular occasion, but not very official. We are still not 100%. Cannot recommend for that one, but network level tool, it is being recommended.
Just one quick question. Compared to the volume weight diffractometer, do you have only the diffraction at the center of load, or you have diffraction measure as a various distance from the center of load?
Yes.
You have how many points?
No, we have only 3 points, right? 3 points. In fact, in the UK, they use only one laser and the reference point. From there, you have developed a bowl, deflection bowl. So there, with 1 point. Because the 1 point they have developed, there's a research paper on that one. If you see, his name is Wayne Muller with the ARB research team. They took my data and they tried to develop a deflection bowl. They have come out with reasonable results. Otherwise, this question is there always, where the deflection bowl. But if we are going to get in Australia, we are going to use 9 lasers to get the full deflection bowl. But a lot of people say pointless. Sometimes, if it is not enough deflection in the 100 km per hour, you can't measure. So you can't get the accurate deflection for a small. The top D0, we can get it, that's the maximum deflection. So other areas we are not quite sure, still not been trialed. That's what it is suited for the network level tool, which is we can use D0, that particular number, and calculate structural number roughly.
So mean now you only just compare this location to another location, and the one that have a higher surface diffraction mean that has a weaker pavement structure.
That's right, weaker. Not only that, that's a direct information. That's we can use it straight away. In fact, I have developed some graphs using this type of graph into the various bands. We put it bands and say some of the bands say about 600 millimeters scale, right? So you have to go and inspect the site. But 600 to 400 level, we says you have to inspect regularly for next 3 years, right? So that indication is going to maintenance engineers, but still we haven't used in the payment management system. So payment management system, as you suggest, we have to develop a deterioration curves. That's the area where we couldn't finish it. So that's the area where you can pick up. But the main thing is data. where the data comes from, because this data belongs to another organization. They are hardly don't like to give to anybody. So that's what US university is asking me to give the data set. They would develop because they have skills to do. But I said, sorry, we cannot give the data. It's worth about $200,000 worth of data.
Okay, let's finish this question. I would like to go for the another questions. I'm asking for Thai people, not the one who working in Australia, because the theme of the workshop today is about the pavement access management, or including the pavement assessment management that you presented this morning. And I think with in every few words you release data, and data. Data would be the heart of the PMS, including the pavement access management system. From my view, based on your experience, you used to work in Sri Lanka, the developing country like Thailand. You worked for some time in Australia, and I think, I would like to know from the view of the Thai people, how could we gain the good and reliable data? Because in the developing country, all the system mess up. How, based on your experience, Justin, I think please let us know, how could we make the constructive system, how to gain the good and reliable data for the PMS, including the asset management as well.
Yep. I think this is the biggest question everywhere. Wherever I go, I went and introduced asset management system in India, in Sri Lanka, in China. But every time after 2 years, I went back. They haven't done anything after that. The main reason is it's remained there. I went to India once after 2 years. All the manuals, documentations, everything in a room, it's closed, it's full of dust. Nobody has read after that. So this is unfortunate. This is the reality. Because of the road agencies, engineers are very busy, day-to-day work. Not like others, every time somebody will come, go to the field and do some work. But they don't have a time to sit and do any specific work. No research and development, no data collection, no policies. Somebody, the chief comes and says, oh, there's a pothole, go and look at it, that one, and do it. So your immediate attention is that. So that's the everyday job for maintenance engineers, especially young engineers. Construction site, you go to the construction site. So main important thing is when you are committed for asset management, you have to have a different, complete structure who is headed by somebody called direct asset management, who has the responsibility, who doesn't have any other things, only asset management. Underneath you have the staff. That's not enough as well. You have to have a policies developed because everything is need funding. Funding won't come ad hocly. Funding, you cannot go to the senior management and tell, I want 200 million baht to start data collection. They will ask, what the heck, I have other priorities to do, right? That's obvious answer from the top. But you can have a director asset management and he or she should develop a policy and get the signature from the CEO, top guy should committed for the policy. Once you committed the policy, it has to be followed. That means if there's a policy in an organization, he has to allocate funding. Then only it will be a success. Otherwise, no success at all. There should be. Then data collection policy has to be developed. What sort of intervals you have to do, what sort of periods you have to do. So I'll show you some of the, I have a few photographs here. Can you see this one, the document, asset data collection manual? Then there's a policy here. Then this is asset management guidelines. All this has to be developed and endorsed by senior management then you have to train people. This what I have done in Sri Lanka. This is the structure I proposed very first time. If you look at it, this is called asset management structure. So you have to have a dedicated staff for that one. Because if you are mixed with the maintenance or any other activities within their area, they are not committed for asset management. So you have to employ somebody as an asset management person, then develop a policies and endorsed by senior management, then you get the funding. Once your funding comes, you are committed to collection of data. This is the flow, methodical way to handle the situation. If you go and ad hocly say, I want to collect the data, okay, I will do it, I'll give you money, but after that you disappeared, you won't come back. But if you have a policy in the organization, you will get money. Once you get the money, it's your responsibility to collect the data.
Thanks, Justin. But I would like to go a bit further. I would like to know the opinion from Dr. Tunwin to share the viewpoint from the Department of the Highway in terms of the data collections. And Justin proposed about we have to set up the good policy from the CEO and all that. I don't know whether this kind of the solution is suitable for Thailand or not. I would like to see from Dr. Tunwin, who quite responsible for this as well.
Okay. Yes, but shall I speak in English or in Thai? I think the class should prefer in Thai, right? Sorry, but first of all, let me just say briefly, I totally agree with you, but I just want to add to the class that first, I also responsible for the data collection of the pavement management of Thailand. We have set up the system, well, back in the old time, 3 decades ago, and it failed because of the data collection. And last 5 years, we reinitiated again, and we use high-tech equipment now. And then we set up a system. The first time it was into detail of the asset management. We set up like a good, bad, and poor condition of the asset, and it was too much for us. So we have to restart again with just the number of assets. Still, we are having big task to accomplish that. So now I speak in Thai. โอเคครับก็ชื่อธันวินสวัสดิสารนะครับอยู่งานด้านเกี่ยวกับ Pavement Management เนี่ยครับเก็บข้อมูลแล้วก็เกี่ยวกับเรื่องงานบริหารงานซ่อมบำรุงทางของกรมทางหลวงนะครับก็รู้จักกับดร.พีรพงศ์อาจารย์ก็เลยโยนมาให้นะครับก็จะเล่าให้ฟังว่าในเทอมของ Pavement Management ของเมืองไทยเนี่ยกรมทางหลวงเคยคิดแล้วก็เริ่มทำมาเมื่อ30 ปีก่อนนะครับก็ใช้ข้อมูลใช้โมเดลอะไรของ World Bank นะครับใช้เป็น World Bank ผมก็ไม่รู้เขาทำเป็น HDM มาตั้งแต่เริ่มตอนไหนล่าสุดก็เป็น HDM3 HDM4 ก็ก๊อปโมเดลของ World Bank แล้วก็มอบหมายเรื่องสภาพถนนข้อมูลต่างๆเนี่ยให้เจ้าหน้าที่ในส่วนภูมิภาคของกรมเราเรียกว่าหมวดการทาง1หมวดการทางมีคนประมาณสัก20คนดูแลถนนประมาณ100กิโลเมตรแล้วก็มอบเขาทำทุกอย่างเหมือนเป็นแม่บ้านดูแลถนนเนี่ยตั้งแต่ซ่อมถนนชี้เขตทางแล้วเราก็ไปเพิ่มหน้าที่ให้เขา1อย่างบอกว่าช่วยจดบันทึกสภาพถนนแล้วคีย์เข้าคอมพิวเตอร์มาให้ส่วนกลางด้วยแล้วส่วนกลางก็จะเอาข้อมูลตัวเนี้ยไปใช้ในการบริหารจัดการจัดสรรงบประมาณอะไรก็แล้วแต่ก็ล้มเหลวไปก็คือว่ามีซอฟต์แวร์มีฐานมีเซิร์ฟเวอร์มีอะไรแต่ว่าคนที่คีย์ข้อมูลทำผิดบ้างไม่ว่างจะทำบ้างหลังจากผมก็รับทราบไปนั้นก็ก่อนผมเข้ารับราชการก็รู้ว่าระบบมันก็ล้มไปล่าสุดเมื่อ5ปีที่แล้วกรมทางหลวงก็มาเริ่มระบบ Pavement Management ใหม่นะครับโดยที่ตอนนี้เราไม่อาศัยหมวดมาเดินจดแล้วดังนั้นเขาเรียกว่า Visual Inspection ฟังให้เป็นภาษาอังกฤษหรูๆจริงๆก็คือถือกระดาษแล้วก็จดนะครับว่าถนนมีความเสียหายอะไรบ้างและจะไปคีย์ลงแบบฟอร์มอะไรก็แล้วแต่ล่าสุดกรมทางหลวงก็ใช้วิธีเป็นรถตู้ติดอุปกรณ์ไฮเทคมีลิงก์พิกัด GPS รู้ว่าข้อมูลความเสียหายล่องล้อรอยแตกเนี่ยมันอยู่ตรงไหนบ้างแล้วก็รถวิ่งไปเสร็จก็ไม่ต้องเดือดร้อนหมดอะไรก็เซฟลงด้วยพิกัด GPS แล้วก็จ้างที่ปรึกษาimport ข้อมูลพวกนี้ใส่ไปในเซิร์ฟเวอร์ แล้วก็มาทำการวิเคราะห์ได้ถึงขั้นบอกว่าถนนตรงนี้กิโลนี้ซ่อมด้วยวิธีไหนเป็นงบประมาณเท่าไหร่เป็นผลตอบแทนกับผู้ใช้ทางเท่าไหร่เป็น benefit cost ratio เท่าไหร่เรื่องจัด optimization ด้วยงบประมาณที่มีอย่างจำกัดให้10,000 ล้าน 5,000 ล้าน700 ล้านควรจะไปซ่อมตรงไหนในประเทศไทยบ้างเนี่ยมีหมดเลยก็ดีหมดแต่ว่าก็เรื่อง policy ที่เขาพูดก็คือส่วนกลางเหมือนว่าตัวผู้บริหารให้การสนับสนุนแต่ว่าในเชิงการบริหารจัดการงบประมาณจริงๆมันก็มีทั้งส่วนวิชาการแล้วก็ส่วนนโยบายจริงๆว่าการนำไปใช้ครับมันจะแค่ไหนก็ตอนนี้ก็ความสถานการณ์ของประเทศไทยก็คือมีระบบที่ค่อนข้างดีมากมีคนที่มาดูงานจากญี่ปุ่นเขาไม่ได้เจตนามาดูงานกับเราเขามาเยี่ยมชมอะไรเงี้ยครับเรื่องอื่นเขามาแวะดูงานเรื่องนี้เขาก็บอกว่าก็ใช้ได้เลยแต่ว่าเรื่องการนำไปใช้จริงเนี่ยก็ยังไม่เข้มข้นนักสำหรับกรมทางหลวงครับสถานการณ์ก็ประมาณนี้หน่วยงานที่เกี่ยวข้องก็ต้องมีการบูรณาการเชื่อมโยงกันเยอะผมอยู่ส่วนที่เรียกว่าสำนักบริหารบำรุงทางเป็นคนจัดสรรงบประมาณก็จะมีเจ้าที่สำนักวิเคราะห์เป็นคนไปเก็บข้อมูลหรืออะไรอย่างนี้อีกก็ต้องมีการประสานงานด้วยกันนะครับถ้าไม่มีการประสานงานที่ดีก็จะไม่สำเร็จถ้าพูดก็พูดได้ประมาณ2 วันนะย่อๆเท่านี้ก่อนครับอาจารย์ขอบคุณครับ
I think just give me a second. I just understood you were talking about the database a little bit. It's very important, that aspect, because you have to collect the data. At the same time, you have to use it, analyze, and use for your decision making. Otherwise, pointless to collect the data and leave it somewhere in a shelves. So that means you have to store it in a proper database. It has to have a sufficient data space. Server, whatever you said, that's the word I picked up from you. The server should be sufficient because it's happened in Sri Lanka. They haven't had a server. And the data was all in the CDs, right? And when I called for that one, so they have no place to store. So now the latest equipments give continuous data. That means millions of data points where you are going to store. So those are the other issues, you have to come along with these policies. You have to have IT issues as well. It's quite interesting you touch in that one. That's what I heard, I don't know whether exactly.
We even have a tape backup and digital backup for the data of the server.
Good.
ก็ okay, let us start in Thai, Justin. อันก็จบไอ้เรื่องพีเมสอะไรพวกนี้นะครับแล้วเดี๋ยวถ้าใครสนใจเรื่องนี้ต่อยังติดลมอยากจะคุยเป็นภาษาไทยเดี๋ยวเสร็จเซสชันนี้ก็จะหมดเซสชันภาษาอังกฤษตอนบ่ายก็จะเป็นไทยแล้วก็เราก็จะร่วมเสวนากันเรื่องนี้แหละครับเรื่องเกี่ยวทั่วไปก็ถามได้ทั่วไปทางดร.ธันวินดร.บุญชัยอะไรก็อยู่ที่นี่แต่ว่าไอ้เซสชันนี้เหลืออีกประมาณครึ่งชั่วโมงผมก็จะขอสกิปไปในเรื่องของ skid resistant เลยซึ่งจัสตินเขามีประสบการณ์นะครับแล้วก็พอดีดร.ธันวินเข้ามาตอนบ่ายแล้วก็ดร.ธันวินเป็นลูกศิษย์ Professor บาลาดีถ้าได้ดู data อะไรที่จัสตินเขาโชว์เนี่ยคงจะมีคำถามอะไรที่ร่วมกับประสบการณ์ที่ดร.ธันวินเคย collect พวก skid resistant เนี่ยมันมีคำถามเกี่ยวกับทางด้านเทคนิคอลดีเทลอยู่พอสมควรนะครับผมก็จะเริ่มเข้าไปในเรื่องของ skid resistant เลยก็เริ่มไงดี and Justin I think we got a half hour left for this session I would like to allocate this time for the skid resistant topic that you got a lots of experience with.
Yep.
Because of during the lunch, I got a chance to discuss with Dr. Tunwin in regard to his experience in terms of the collecting the data of the skid values and all that, and try to fit the deteriorations model or the skid model against with the age of the roads and all that. I think in terms of in the practical point of view, probably the set of the data is not good as you showed this morning. Probably, I think you show the model of the skid model that you show us this morning.
Yes, not the models. I think it's a investigator levels.
Yep.
That's the one which is most important thing. which is the one it's been discussed all over the world now. This is the intervention criteria, but we call investigation.